Hi there, everybody. Happy Sunday. Chief Meteorologist Andrea Michaels here with the Cloud43 stream on this Sunday, November 16th. Yes, that's right, Irving. It is a match the map sort of day. Um, Fun story. This is the dress that I recorded our winter weather outlook in last Wednesday, I think it was, maybe Tuesday. That's going to be airing Fox 43 News at 10. Wink, wink, wink. Second half of the show, though, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. So, yeah, to give the illusion that it wasn't pre-recorded, I am wearing it tonight, planned, of course. And hey there, Keith. Oh, I'm good this evening. Just been a really busy weekend finalizing everything for our winter weather forecast. A lot of work goes into it behind the scenes on top of, our normal tasks. And there's been some extra things I've had to take care of too as chief on the side, stuff that you guys don't see. So, oh boy, it's been a lot. Brad, you're asking how much rain Friday. I think it is a little too early to tell. We're seeing some bouncing around with the track of this system. And depending on the ultimate track, if it happens to go a little too far to the northwest again, like the one that happened this past weekend, we could get gypped again on the rainfall like we saw. I mean, I do have the information in front of me right now, so I can give you a rough estimate. It looks like, let's see, European model, roughly 0.2 of an inch of rainfall in Harrisburg. The GFS, slightly more gracious. Looks like it's closer to, some quickie math in my head, of roughly 0.3 of an inch, a little over that perhaps. So it's hard to say at this point. We'll keep you posted. I did notice, as opposed to yesterday when I did my forecast, because I did work Saturday, grants off. So yeah, I've had a lot on my plate already. My weekend was short by a day. But yes. So, go PSU. Yes, definitely, Brad. Go PSU. I know. God, they're so sad right now. But, I kind of figured after everything that's happened that this was just going to be a get through this year, the rest of this season, hopefully rebuild for next year. But yes, we'll keep you posted on it, though. Tuesday's looking pretty promising, though. Later Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, and Tuesday night, that's looking promising for a nice little soaking, too. I mean, I wish I could say we were getting like 1/2 of an inch. This is probably going to end up being roughly another 1/4 of an inch of rainfall, but hey, especially with how dry it's been lately, and this is going to tie into what Jason likes to do, always does. Actually, as I read Jason's comment, holy tamale, Jason, I'm sorry to hear that. In the hospital with a bruised ribs too, and you, oh my goodness, you fell off a log. Oh my goodness. I hope, hope you're feeling better. My goodness, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Yikes. Wow. Irving, you have a question. What wind speed does it take to change rain direction? I mean, it probably doesn't really take that much. As long as there is somewhat of a breeze, you're going to get some sort of angle to the raindrops. I mean, I would say bare minimum 10-15 mile per hour wind speed, I promise you. Especially if it's lighter rain and they're smaller droplets. It's much easier because they would obviously weigh less. So a little bit of a complicated question, but I don't think the answer is probably something that's very impressive for you. My goodness. Yikes. Sorry to hear that about you. Again, Jason, I know I'm kind of going back there. I was going to say, with all the dry conditions and the wildfires, that would be something Jason would probably be happy to see, a little bit of rain, but wow, I totally wasn't expecting that to be your comment. Back to work tomorrow, though. Okay, that's good to hear. Not going to stop you from heading to the Maryland border. Well, you be careful and you take care of yourself, friend, please. Boy, yeah, I know. It can be so hard when you're all wrapped up in work to make sure you're taking care of yourself and doing what you're supposed to do. I know I can relate to that. I obviously haven't injured myself like that, though. That's just terrible. But do I have a rain collection system? The most impressive thing, Keith, that I had was one of those little rain gauges that come with, the summer outdoor decorations. I think it was a bumblebee with a little rain gauge and a flower, but we had a storm and it got knocked over, blown over. At least I think it did. So it got broken and I had to throw it out. But maybe I'll get another one. As a kid, though, I used to have a weather station that would give digital readings, and also it had a rain gauge. So it would read rainfall whenever it would fall in my gauge. I would get temperature from it. I would get, did it do dew point? I don't think so. I don't think it calculated dew point. But it would do wind, it would do pressure. So it would kind of attempt to give somewhat of a forecast based on the pressure. Trying to say, the pressure's dropping, oh, it might be raining. I don't remember it 100%. I know I got it when I was like 9 or maybe 10? Probably 10. But, yeah. No rain barrels. No, I don't collect in rain barrels. Although I will say, after some of those heavy thunderstorms that we got at times, particularly in June and the first part of July, I know we did dry out towards the end of the month. I mean, I was like dumping 3 inches in those, assuming that they were, properly designed to get an accurate measurement of rainfall. But yeah. Oh, for reusing rainwater. No, I've never been that much of an overachiever as far as that goes. I'm sure it has its usefulness and its purposes, but I'm too afraid of attracting the mosquitoes and making it not so fun. I live in a tiny little townhome, so I don't have a lot of area. It's an end townhome, so I at least do have like some nice property that Eva can run around and stretch her legs on and everything, but yeah, it's a small space, so we really can't do too much storage like that. And then, of course, you don't want mosquitoes where you want to hang out and have fun, too. Maybe one day, if we're eventually in a place where we feel we can afford the upgrade to the house. But for now, leave it at that. Something I would eventually like to try is composting with my... All right, this is going to be a little gross, but composting with my bunny poop, because I have 5 rabbits, so obviously my litter pans get pretty full every time I change them. That might be a cool way to like compost and make fertilizer and stuff. Again, one day. I probably won't be doing that anytime soon, and I just don't even feel like I have the time. Weeks, especially like the last few weeks, I just don't even feel like I have time to breathe, man. But yes. Yeah, oh yeah, it is an HOA too. Yeah, so they're picky about like what you plant and where you plant it. For example, we do a garden, but we have to do them in those box planters, because if we actually dug in the ground and did our tomato plants, they would have to be like right next to our house in the front. I know one of our neighbors across the street did that this year, but we like to do a lot, so we just wouldn't have enough space. But yeah, it is a royal pain. I mean, it could be worse. I mean, HOAs, I'm sure a lot of people, if you've had one before, it can be a little annoying, but over the years, ours seem to have become less strict, which has its positives and its negatives, but, I remember when we first moved in, I think it was like 8 years ago now? Yeah, almost, no, 7 years ago, because we got our house right before we had Ava. I remember, this bush was in like our front corner, and that bush was there when we got there, and the HOA decided 3 months after we moved into this house that they had a problem with the bush and it needed to be removed. And I said to myself, we just moved in here. This bush has been here for a while. And I remember looking at Google Maps and seeing one of the images that they used was from like 5 years ago, and I remember saying, you guys had no problem with this for 5 years. You did not contact the previous owners once to take care of this. We're not doing it unless you pay for it, and we made them pay for it, like, because it bothered them that badly. I rarely am a Karen, but I will stand my ground if something is absolutely ridiculous. And that, I'm sorry, was ridiculous. You can't just decide all of a sudden for a new homeowner to enforce a rule that you didn't enforce for 5 entire years. Your people drove around and had no, checked quarterly and had no issue with that. Okay, I know I'm going down the tangent. I'll stop there. I'll get the train back on the tracks here, guys. But yeah, they are crazy, some HOAs. Luckily, ours isn't that crazy anymore, but again, there's always a trade-off when, somebody's not cutting their grass and you're like, ew, this is disgusting. Come on. Anyway, yeah, Jason, you did get called up to some fires up north. Yeah, we've had a lot of brush fires the last few weeks, and today, we had some fires today, and they spread very quickly because of the wind. It was nuts. Good evening, Myrna. Glad that you've joined us tonight. Hey there, Jordan. Oh, I am not ready for Thanksgiving. I looked at my husband tonight on my dinner break, and I said, when I'm focused on doing the winter weather project, I mean, it's like 2 to 3 weeks worth of work and planning and putting everything together. So it always goes by so fast. And then I realized, oh my goodness, next week is Thanksgiving. I was like, we have to plan our menu. So no, I'm not ready. I will be ready by the end of this week, but as of right now, I am not ready. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up here. Irving, the current winds. Shoot, I didn't throw that in the show here. Let me pull that up quickly, though. That would have made sense to do, wouldn't it? It's been a time. I was here until 2 o'clock last night in the morning. It was my own fault. I decided I wanted to go all out writing up my winter weather script, and adding more to it and getting more detailed and scientific and nerdy. So that was 100% on me, but I put a lot of love, sweat, blood, and tears into this thing. This project's my baby. I started it, 4 years ago now, 4 seasons ago. And this is my thing. I love it, and winter weather is one of my favorite things to forecast. As challenging and stressful as it is, I love it, and so is the, seasonal forecasting. I taught myself how to do it, and it's obviously still a learning process, but I feel like each year I learn more and more and feel more and more confident putting it together. So it's great. I mean, I'm a person who believes very strongly that you're never done learning, and there's always plenty you can do, but it's also fun for me too, because weather is my passion. Nerd life, I know, it's great. Anyways, Irvin, it depends on where you are, but York Airport is reporting a 14 mile per hour wind speed with a gust to 25 miles an hour. Baltimore Washington International Airport, I don't know, I guess that's because of where I picked, is reporting a 15 mile per hour wind speed with a 28 mile per hour gust. Hagerstown Regional Airport, 21 mile per hour speed, 40 mile per hour gust. Harrisburg Capital City Airport, 14 mile per hour speed, 29 mile per hour gust. And International HIA Harrisburg International Airport is a 21 mile per hour 21 mile per hour wind speed and a 37 mile per hour gust. Lancaster, northwest wind at 14, no gust coming in. Selinsgrove, 7 mile per hour wind speed, wind gust 24. I just pulled up some ops from the NWS State College website just to read those to you. So, I mean, we're coming down. I think we are past the worst of it. I had a feeling after sunset the NWS would drop that weather impact alert. I don't know who saw the video that I posted about it last evening, but I said there was a chance we could end it a little early, and that was why, even though I didn't get into the full reason, because we have to keep those things pretty short. The powers that be tell us 1 minute to 1.5 minutes is how long you want to keep your vertical videos. So we try our best. I try my best, even though I like to blah, 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 to keep them as short as possible. Let's see. Jason, you just hauled your manure pile and cleaned out your liquid manure pit. That sounds like that's a project. Holy tamale. Let's see. Oh, good. Jordan, I'm glad you thought that was an interesting story. Look, I pick my battles. I am very much that person that picks my battles. I don't complain about everything. I mean, I might complain, and kind of like, I'm that person where I overreact, and I go, but then that's only so that I can calm down and then, get it past me, and then, okay, how do I handle this now? So it's like, I have an interesting personality. But yeah, I totally forgot about that too until that came up that I even did that. Ugh. You got your deer with your bow and a bear. You got a bear? Like a black bear, Jason? That's wild. Where was that? Oh my goodness, that is nuts. Irving, beans and franks. Where is that coming from? Oh, are you commenting for Thanksgiving dinner? Hey, at the rate I'm going, it might be beans and franks. Oh man. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up, guys. You guys are flooding me already with all these comments. Hey William, thank you for joining again. Yeah, Keith. Oh, yes, Ava. I gotta send cake to Ava. My goodness. This kid's had enough treats as of late for sure. 55 loads. That is nuts, Jason. All right. I guess we gotta move on and talk some forecast, guys. But no, that was like a great little chit chat to get us going. And after, man, I felt like I was slowing down a little, but that helped get me going. So there we go. All right, moving on to the forecast. Wind advisory is over with. However, it'll still be breezy, just not breezy to the point where it'll meet wind advisory criteria. I guess I have to cover my soda. I don't want anybody to think I'm like, this is not a paid endorsement, guys. I have an Amazon auto ship. I pay my own money. Trust me. Anyways, so tomorrow is a day that you're still going to avoid outdoor burning if you are smart and you care about your neighbors, for lack of better words here. Good news though, we are tracking some showers. I did kind of mention this a little bit earlier when Brad asked about the Friday rain. We might not even have to wait until Friday. It looks like some showers are coming in, and they are starting to track a little earlier too. So you might need the umbrella, but it was one of those, leave it in the car maybe because, or well, maybe not, because if you're walking to your car when it's raining, that's not very helpful. But you might want to at least have it at your side because as you're leaving work, you might need the umbrella. Opening it up, getting into your car and whatnot. For some, it will be as late as as early as the afternoon. Excuse me. We're talking late afternoon though, so maybe around 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then through dinner time they should spread. And then, some spotty light showers will last and eventually taper through the night. And then we do quiet down for midweek. By the way, the winds do quiet down Tuesday, but it stays quiet, mainly cloudy. Bit on the cool side too for this time of year. Oh yeah, Jason, you just got a text saying that you'll be on duty tomorrow. I mean, that doesn't shock me. Our wind gusts tomorrow, and I'll have those for you in just a second, but I am expecting them to be higher than 20 miles an hour for most folks. So, not out of the woods yet, for sure. Moving on though, and giving a look at the weather impact 7-day forecast. Oh yeah, I've got some flurries in there. We do in our northwestern spots, so think like Mifflin, Juniata, Perry counties have some lake effect clouds still. Some morning flurries will be possible, maybe even some overnight snow showers too. But if you're in, say, York or Lancaster counties, I mean, I saw it when I was coming back from dinner break, you're seeing stars and maybe a couple random clouds. It's one of those, one of those scenarios where one of those situations or setups, there it is, sorry, I'm tired, guys. One of those setups where, our southeastern spots are experiencing something a little different than our northwestern spots. Happens, especially as we get into wintertime, that can be that very stark contrast. And here we go for Tuesday, the late showers that I threw in, and then just clouds Wednesday, Thursday. There was some hints last night that another very quick moving pulse might try to bring a few spritzes overnight and maybe early Thursday morning, but that seems to have just kind of fallen off the radar. And then Friday's system, at first, I don't remember if I had a late shower mention or not. It was kind of going back and forth on it because it looked like it was mostly Friday night rain, but there's been a decent shift in moving this one up. I still have the early shower in for Saturday, but we might dry out a little bit before daybreak. We'll keep an eye on it though. We still could, I mean, this is 5 days out. It's a very progressive pattern where systems are shooting through fast. So there's certainly, it wouldn't shock me. I've seen it so many times in situations like this where systems will speed up a little and then backtrack a little. So, you know, this could be a work in progress as far as tweaking the timing goes. So don't be shocked there. The notable thing, though, will be the increase in temperatures, though. It looks like we do try to turn a little milder. A little. Not quite yet, although I do think we get a big warm-up the week of Thanksgiving, at least for a good portion of it. Not every day will be warm that week. And I do have some graphics, and we'll talk about that a little bit more before we get into it. Of course, we'll get through, you know, much of this week, and then we'll look ahead. Some fun stuff. And then temperatures in the 50s, of course, Saturday, maybe coming down a touch Sunday. Sunday's a little up in the air. The Euro had rain Sunday. The others, the Canadian, the GFS didn't. Held off on putting in some rain chances there because it was kind of a sudden shift. But certainly worth keeping an eye on. Just showing the weather alerts here, too, just to show that, you know, hey, look at that. We don't have any more wind advisory. It's been dropped across our area. We still have the winter weather advisories, though, and the lake effect snow warnings in the northwestern portion of the state. Those, of course, are still active. And you can see in the northern tier of New York, we've got wind advisories there. But yes, lake effect snow warnings here. Winter weather advisories in the surrounding counties. Some pretty impressive lake effect bands once again. But, I mean, November is that time of year for lake effect. Sometimes even depending on how quickly the cold comes in, late October can be too. But I mean, look at that. That is just, whew, that is something. You might have actually felt a few sprinkles or a few drops, and if you did, that was the lake effect, of course. But you can see the snow bands now into the northwestern portion of the state. Look at this. Look how awesome this is. You have a connection from Lake Superior to Huron, or, oh shoot. That's not Superior, is it? No, that is. Yeah, because that's Lake Michigan. Yeah, no, I was right. Sorry, I'm confusing myself. From Lake Superior to Lake Huron, and then you got that connection with Erie, and then it just, like, look how long, we call this a fetch, like, look how long that is. That is a crazy long band. I love it. Anyway. Oh, Gail, you did see some flurries in Lower Paxton Township. There you go. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Oh, Jason, you said the head forester of Juniata County Wildland Firefighters, DNCR and Chief 9. Who said what? Sorry, I feel like I missed half of what you... Oh, you just got a text. Oh, that's who the text was from that you were telling me about earlier. Sorry. There were other comments separating your comments, and I didn't realize the two were tied together. My bad. But yes, I mean, see, that's really... I mean, it's really cool. I like lake effect. It's fun. Mostly fun because it's kind of, for us in our area, it's more like novelty flakes. It's like, oh, you can see some flurries and it's nice, but you don't have to worry about, will I get to work? Oh, do I have to take my husband's truck? You know, just less anxiety. We'll save that for winter. We'll save that for December. It's right around the corner, and boy, yes. Moving on. I am not going to get too detailed because our winter weather forecast airs during our 10 o'clock hour tonight, and I am incredibly excited for it. But yes, we still have some sprinkles and some flurries. See, the green is the sprinkles, where temperatures, the profile might still be just a little too warm, especially near the surface. But you can still see the white, of course. That's indicating we've got lake effect snow showers. You know, I was wondering, too, I don't know if we can entirely rule out a snow squall in Mifflin County. I would just be on alert for a quick burst of low visibility and slick roads, maybe a coating or something at best. Just keep an eye out for friends who live here, Mifflin County, just in case somebody needs a reminder because you don't live there. But if you do live there, now you know. But yes, look at that. That's pretty cool. Fun fact, too, this is something I always like to show off. It's kind of lame, but Lake Erie is still obviously so warm that usually, well, this time of year, it's coming off its rain showers until it's cold enough for it to be snow, because the lake temperatures are obviously not in the 40s and the 30s yet, because it takes time to cool a big body of water like a lake. And these lakes are very deep lakes. In fact, here's another fun fact. Lake Erie is the most shallow of the 5 and the only lake that can freeze over in the winter time completely, by the way. That shuts down the lake effect, at least that comes off of Erie on very cold winters. Has to be a very cold winter for that to happen. I don't believe last winter was, I mean, it was cold, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't cold enough. Like, you need some next level cold for that to happen. So we'll talk wind gusts, because as the winds ease a bit tomorrow, the wind direction starts to shift. We'll see the lake effect kind of crumble, fall apart, the clouds gradually too, late morning through the afternoon. Here are the wind gusts. They'll still be pretty impressive. I'm thinking 25 to 35 miles an hour, so that's why, again, still not a good idea to do any type of outdoor burning. And then the winds will turn calm. Maybe a light breeze at best, but obviously much quieter and much less of a nuisance through the middle of the week. Until, of course, next time. Wind chills will be a factor tomorrow, of course. We're forecasting highs in the low to mid 40s, but when you account for those wind gusts, you do have to dress for 30s for much of the day, for much of the area. Not as chilly as it was, I think it was this past Tuesday morning, where we had our coldest temperatures and our coldest wind chills. So, you know, the second hit of chillier air, you know, it's the second time around. We're a little used to it. It is what it is. Oh, got more comments here, guys. Man, you guys are chatty again this week. I love it. I love it. Anyways, let's see. Let me catch up here. Oh, Jordan. Yeah, meteorology. It's a lot. I love it. I love weather. I love nerdy stuff. I try to post, I mean, I know I do my best to try to post some fun nerdy stuff. I'll have to try to do some more informational, fun type things. Like, oh, hey, look at this happening here. Like the atmospheric rivers happening right now out west, those are always fun. I made a graphic for it years ago too, so that could be that could be a cool way to try to do some things like that. I can see if I can find ways to bring the studio and the meteorology to you, especially once things quiet down now that our winter weather project is almost out of the way here. Let's see, Jason, you said you were on Route 235 and you had a bit of black ice on top of Shade Mountain. Yeah, I think that, that would, especially, I mean, I guess if it's Shade Mountain, it's because a lot of it, or at least one side of it, is heavily shaded. I mean, if you're not getting that direct sunlight, it could be you got to be careful for black ice. It can be quite tricky for sure. And this time of year too, where you're not getting a whole lot of snow, they're not really salting the roads just yet, unless it's more widespread and accumulating. So yeah, you do always have to be ready and kind of alert for that random patch that might try to pop up. Let's see. Yeah, you'll definitely tune in only to see that. Thank you. Just so you know, it's going to be the latter half of our show. I have my rundown. Let me look here. Can give you guys at least an estimated time, give or take. So yeah, roughly 10:42. Seems like when we get back from the break, at 10:42 we get right into it, and then I'll give my full weather forecast after that. Blah blah, as per usual. And I'll have an article. I have to finish that up still tonight, but I'll have an article published online too. A very in-depth article. I stayed 2 hours later taking the script. So because the presentation itself, it's 2.5 minutes, so you had to dumb down the verbiage a lot, you know, just to kind of the main points. I took time in the article to take a deeper dive into the science. I tried not to get too complicated. I tried to just kind of, here's the gist, if this is what this means, roughly, most of the time, blah, blah. So I do, like, you know, did that. Of course, there's going to be a brief recap, vertical video that's going to fly around on social media. I believe they're planning on posting that tomorrow. I recorded it earlier tonight. I just have to edit it and upload it. Yeah, gosh, I still have so much to do before the night is up. Man. Anyways, it'll get done, though. It will get done. I'm just going to power through it, and it'll get done. And then, oh, and Tony and I are going to be recording a live stream tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning. And as soon as that gets edited, it's going to be up on our digital platforms like Fox 43 Plus and YouTube, so that everybody can play it and just kind of watch it in its entirety. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot that you can, even if you miss it in tonight's newscast or maybe you fall asleep beforehand, we'll make sure that it'll still be available to you. It just won't be until after it airs tonight. So, gotta give that primetime slot get the priority first. But yes. So it's really nice. I'm always excited for it, especially because it's a lot of hard work always goes into it. Let's see. You still have some strong wind gusts in Pakistan? Oh yeah, there are definitely still some pretty impressive wind gusts out there, Tom, for sure. Jordan, you said you used to do roofing. Oh man, 50 miles an hour and up, most likely you would pack it up. Oh, I bet. Especially because the higher from the ground you are, I mean, that makes it more dangerous. The ground actually provides friction, like trees and cars and grass and all of that stuff. So the higher up you are on a building, the stronger the wind actually is. And the higher up you go, there is no friction, so the winds are much stronger. That's why, traditionally speaking, wind speeds do tend to increase with height. I mean, not perfectly and not all the time, but it's kind of a general way the atmosphere works. That's why way up high at airplane level or the jet stream level, that's why the winds are so fast that they can, move storm systems. And of course, depending on the direction the plane's flying, they'll often use the jet stream to help propel them to save on fuel. Fun facts. Anyways, Jason, you said, oh yeah, oh gosh, yeah, that's a high elevation. If that's 2,000, oh wow, almost 2,200 feet. Oh yeah, that is up there. 2,200 feet. That's almost at the 925 millibar level. Yeah, that's nuts. And yeah, snow finally did start showing up. Oh man, I really want to. Oh, trying so hard not to give spoilers. Okay, just stay tuned for the winter weather forecast. Hello, Dominic. How are you? Thank you for joining and hopping on here. Production as an MMJ never stops. Oh my god, no it doesn't. Tell me about it. Especially now in the world of social media, like what used to be just a package, like a typical, MMJ package that just airs in your newscast. Now there's got to be a digital version. It's just, yeah. Everybody's got to do more with less. No brand sponsorship. We're not exceptions to that rule with everybody. And do more with less. That's always what it seems to be here. Spit it out. No, I will. I will. I can keep a secret. I can keep a secret keep. As long as it's a good secret anyway. Let's talk Futurecast, though. We'll talk about this lake effect snow, of course. Look at this band. I mean, this is the band that I pointed out not too long ago. Very impressive. Most of the clouds and the flurries, of course, as you would expect, will be northwest of Harrisburg. But occasionally, some flurries, some clouds could get into York and Lancaster counties. That'll continue through the night. Those bands still going strong even into the morning. But you will notice the clouds start to back off a little, and so will the lake effect bands. But that's going to give way, and that'll be later Monday and through the night. That's going to give way to the next system. I will say right off the bat, I know you're seeing the pretty colors. I'm not buying that this is a snow or mix of any type, especially for central Pennsylvania. I don't think the atmospheric profile is ready to support it. I think if this was 2 or 3 weeks from now, with a big change in the pattern that we've been expecting now for a few weeks, that's looking more and more likely, I would be biting. I'm not biting on this. I don't think we've seen that transition yet to where we have to think about it. Maybe higher elevations in the Laurel Highlands, I can actually look really quickly and see. I'll admit I didn't. Oh yeah, we won't even have the rain snow line before then, before any precip gets in. Yeah, no, I don't think. Maybe some wet snowflakes mix in at best, but I think that's going to be mostly rain, even in the southwestern portion of the state. I just looked at the European model. Sorry, it's not our time, not yet. Yet. God, I can't help it. I can't help but tease. Anyways, so again, I'm not really buying that even in the northern portion of the state that this is snow. In Mifflin County, absolutely not. I promise you this will be rain unless we get much colder, which right now, based on what I'm seeing, it's not cold enough. I think it's just being overdone and the model's getting too excited. But you can see the rain showers passing through later in the afternoon. This is now 8 o'clock in the evening. The showers keep pushing through. A little bit of a last second push before it's out of here by daybreak Wednesday, but we are left with a good amount of clouds. Good news, though, is that there is some more opportunity for rain, and that is going to be Friday. That looks like our next chance. We'll probably be able to bump this pop-up in the days to come, but since this was the first time the system has moved up into the Friday time slot, I was a little conservative with the 30%. This very well could easily become a 40 by tomorrow or Tuesday. Obviously, I know this says rain chance here and that Monday is a 20%. Monday obviously isn't a rain. It's flurries and snow showers. So I'm just going to make that distinction right off the bat here. Oh, you're hitting up Forest County tomorrow for the lake effect snow. You have fun with that. You have fun with that. That sounds amazing. One of these days, when I don't, have so many responsibilities where I can just take off and go somewhere, I would love to just chase stuff. That would be great. That would be so much fun. Oh yeah, Erie, they get so much snow, Keith, on a regular basis. It's amazing. CapCut just stays open. Yeah, you know what I really like? Not an endorsement, by the way. I did not pay for it. I used the free version. But Instagram's, well, it's owned by Instagram. Edits actually isn't that bad. That's what I use right now. I use a blend of Instagram and TikTok because I really like TikTok's captions. I think they're the only place that has captions figured out really well and does the best with them as far as look and actually deciphering what you're saying. Sorry, guys. I've been a little under the weather this week. My throat gets a little from time to time, but I'm working through it. I'm past the worst of it. It's just the lingering stuff that you want to go away and everything. You see a few weather pages that are saying snow for central Pennsylvania. The NWS said we could see 1 to 2 inches in our area from this. I'm not buying that. I think the profile would have to cool so much more. I can't imagine the NWS would be saying that. I mean, I'm looking again. Tuesday? Yeah, no. We don't have the 540 line on our side, and this is November. If this were December, and yeah, no. I mean, yeah. Canadian is cold enough at the higher elevations. The Euro is the warmest. Maybe some of the highest elevations, I guess, is not out of the question here. Let me see what the GFS said. I gotta remind myself what I saw earlier. Here we go. Well, the GFS is chilliest, but it doesn't have a whole lot at the beginning. I really do think, too, without the 540 line, it's a tough ask, even at the higher elevations. Yeah. Personally, I'm still not feeling it. I'm really not. Let's see. Where was your comment, Jason? Oh, there we go. Yeah. I'm not worried yet. How about that? If the Euro trend's colder, then I'll start worrying and say, oh, really? But until then, it's not happening for me until then. Sorry. Let's see. CapCut and TikTok keeps the same captioning metric. Oh, cool. So CapCut's might be as good. Well, maybe I'll start using CapCut then. We'll see. It takes so much time to like learn all the new ones and stuff. So once I find something, I just like to move fast. But I'll definitely, I know a lot of people in our building do use CapCut for their stuff too, especially Android users. But yes, oh my goodness. Sorry, my throat's like getting a tickle that just won't go away. NWS is high. Yeah, I know, right? There's no way. Like, they're smart forecasters over there. There's no way. I'm good, Adam. Thank you for asking. Let's see. December 540 performance going to go bonkers. Yeah. Oh, man. I really just want to spill the beans on this winter weather forecast. But be pumped. I'm pumped, too. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad you agree, Jason. If it were to happen, I could only see it being cold enough at our higher elevations, but even still, without the 540 line in November, it's a tough sell on me. I'd have to, especially with something that's a light precipitation event, if it was heavy precipitation, maybe your diabatic cooling would be enough to get temperatures where you need them to be through the thermal layer, but I don't know. Like I said, that's just a really hard sell for me right now, and it was a hard sell for me when I was looking at it earlier this afternoon, and I just looked at it again, and I kind of feel the same I did. Let's see. My favorite Nirvana song. Oh, man, my favorite Nirvana song. Gosh. That's really, like, that is taking me back. I will admit, I didn't listen to a whole lot of Nirvana when I was younger. I would say, and this is probably going to be, these are going to be like the obvious ones. I would say Smells Like Teen Spirit. I know. And then Heart Shaped Box. Yeah. I would have to say those are the two. Because they're probably the only two I can remember. Anyway, you just want to go right into spring and summer? Not so sure that's in the cards this year. Alright, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to give too much away. We do need the rain, though, so a couple things of rain this week, couple systems. That would be certainly helpful, though we have seen some improvements with our drought monitor. We still have at least kept the level 1 moderate drought category at bay. This is level 0, guys. They started it at drought category 0, the abnormally dry. That is still over us. But there have been improvements, though, in decent portions of the state, though. So that's definitely good for sure, especially southwestern parts of the state. That's been a pretty notable improvement over the last month or so. I'm sure, Keith, you would agree with that for sure. Anyways, I want to zoom in, though, because you couldn't see it with the last one, with how big it was. But this little hole is around Harrisburg here, where I guess, oh, hey, apparently Harrisburg got enough rain compared to everywhere else that it's in its own little donut now. Its own little donut hole of no drought conditions, and it's all better and whatnot, at least for now. So, yeah. Jason, yours is Come As You Are in Heart-Shaped Box. Okay, okay. You're a big fan of the surprise tour punches moving through last night. Very entertaining. I saw that one random tornado